It is Jake Anders at the top of the sheet in front of me here, although I think our timing tower there on your screens does. There it goes. I'm ahead of the curve, I tell you. Drivers trying to find some track space here, Andrew, and I think as well, I say track space, but potentially benefiting from a bit of slipstreaming down the back straight here as well. But I got a lot of drivers, I don't want to preempt our paddock walk, but a lot of drivers here today who are at Lydd for the first time.
Yes.
And I think that's going to be an interesting aspect to this. We could see a few upsets here in terms of the pecking order. As we're looking at Jake Anders in the number 53, currently the fastest driver on track, but still plenty of time for others to have a go at besting that. It is a 47.881 that they need to beat. So...
And you mentioned the slipstream. It is a circuit, not maybe as much as say a clay pigeon or somewhere like that, but it is some.
But the pressure that can be put on, you know, the peace of mind that you can get on a day like today from having a decent qualifying result is massive. I know earlier you were talking about your B final win here that took you onto the back of the A final.
Yes.
I also just remember it wasn't here, it was at Clay Pigeon when I qualified straight into the A final. The first time I did that, the peace of mind that comes with that is just it's massive.
It's a big lift. Well. It's a big confidence lift for the drivers. So let's just have a little bit of a rundown. 1 minute and 41 to go. Still a couple of laps for the drivers to get in their lap times. Joseph back to fastest at the moment on a 47.773. That's a driver I would expect to see through to the pre-A final, because Joseph is currently in the top 20 in the championship standings. Pretty much anyone who is at the top half of the table has been to every single round so far this year. Drop scores haven't really come into play yet. Joao Gabriel Castro, similar story, currently 7th in points. And, was second, has just been displaced there by Elijah Hazelwood. So good lap there from Elijah Hazelwood. Currently 8th in the championship, goes up to 2nd in this qualifying group. If he stayed there, that would mean that the pre-A final grid. Ryan Cranston comes over the line, doesn't go quicker. Hayden Adams also doesn't go any quicker. Mason Turner is just outside. Here comes Baxter over the line. This could be key for pole position. Goes and puts in another 47, but stays. And Jake Anders goes in there right at the end. 47.754 was already qualifying through to the pre-A final, but a brilliant last lap there from Jake Anders in the number 53 in the top 10 in points at the moment. Sticks it on provisional pole for the pre-A final, and I think that was our only move there, Howard.
Yeah, but a big one. The biggest one you can have. You know, good lap there at the end. Did it when it counts, and that's Jake Anders. I suppose we can say on provisional pole at the moment, because if no one can beat that, he would get that, but he's guaranteed 3rd on the grid. But already I can hear that the carts are going out for. Here is your grid then for your cadet lightweight pre-A final. It's going to be Jake Anders and Joseph Baxter on the first row of the grid. Miles Harrison and Elijah Hazelwood are row number 2, with Joao Gabriel Castro and Jamie Warner on row number 3. Row 4 is where we find Harvey Dowler and Hayden Adams, and then it's Mason Turner and championship leader coming into today, Logan McAllister, to round out the top 10. Reese Cranston and Blake Southern are next on row 6. Then it's Jack Shelley and Ryan Rapini on row 7, Oscar Stockley King and Jack Harrison on row 8, and then it's Ian Bagger and Matteo Aaron Feuchter on row number 9, with your promotees from the pre-B final being confirmed as Alfie Lambert and Solomon Adeniji. That's how they line up for the pre-A final in cadets.
Very good stuff, and a very interesting grid in this one, particularly with our championship leader in this cadet lightweight category. Logan McAllister down in P10, has only missed out on winning any of these A races once so far this year. He's going to have quite a job on to make sure that that one doesn't become 2, but you never know. And we have seen drivers in categories in Club 100 over the years, be able to race through. 11 minutes on the clock then for the cadet lightweights. Away we go for the Pre-A final. First haul of maximum points available so far this weekend. Good start for Jake Anders and Joseph Baxter on the front row. The number 22 of Miles Harrison is trying to fight around the outside, and in the end is fought off the circuit. Gets back on, but lost at least a couple of positions there. Down into the second chicane come our group of cadets. Looking good so far, clean through the first couple of corners, but a really solid start there, Howard, for Jake Anders off the front of the order. It's now to the rest of them to see if they can reel number 53 back in. Yeah,
dream start there for Jake Anders, because they're all still jostling for position. It looks like a sped-up formation lap behind him, 2 by 2. Noah's Ark is going on here in the battle. It is the 46 of Joseph Baxter who's retained second place. No, it's not, because down the inside goes Elijah Hazelwood in the 55, but he's out wide on exit, and that's going to allow the 48 of João Gabriel Castro to come back again. This is brilliant stuff. I promise this isn't the last lap, folks. They're really going for it, and round there, it was going to be, I think was that Hazelwood. I need to double check that. But it got saved by the momentum of everybody else there, and we've got spinners again on the second chicane. And I was going to say, Andrew, how impressed I was at the drivers navigating each other on that first lap. It has just come it's boiled over the edge ever so slightly on this second tour of the circuit.
It has, I'm afraid. There's a penalty out there for Elijah Hazelwood in the number 55. I fear as well. I think Harvey Dowler was in the wrong place at the wrong time there. I saw a flash of a double-digit number and a 9, and the only one of those that we've got in this race is the number 69 of Harvey Dowler. We'll count them through at the end of lap number 2 then. Jake Anders, who has not had a podium so far this season in any of these A-level races. Best result, I think, is a 7th place, is 1.5 seconds clear. Castro second, Hazelwood third, but with a penalty. Adams, McAllister, Rapini, Harrison, Southern, Harrison and Bagger. That's your top 10. It was Harvey Dowler who fell down the order, is now down in 19th place. Jamie Warner also down the order into 20th place. And just to compound matters now for Harvey Dowler, has now got a penalty.
Yeah, and Joseph Baxter falling well down the order as well there. Yeah, sorry, it was Jamie Warner who we saw, I think, having that moment. So costly laps for them, as this is the battle at the... Where are we looking at, actually?
Second place. That's
sorry, yes.
So that's Warner, who is off the lead lap now.
Yes.
In the number 11. So discounts the 11 cart there for positions. Fastest driver on circuit is indeed the number 48 of João Gabriel Castro, currently running in second place.
Adams versus
Logan McAllister.
Indeed, here as they head towards the bottom corner. McAllister's going to tuck underneath, and that is textbook how you do that. Perfectly judged from McAllister there to tuck underneath, and immediately gives the gesture to say, let's go up the road, let's work together, we're losing them here up ahead. But that is how you do a switchback overtake at the bottom corner of Lydd.
Yeah, that was absolutely spot on from Logan McAllister. Very experienced driver for his age over the line. 7 minutes and 40 to go. Fastest driver on circuit is Hazelwood. So the challenge now for McAllister is a 1.9 second gap up the road to third place on the road. So you'd hope for the likes of McAllister, Adams, Harrison, Rapini. If they can work together, that's a nice group that can close in there. It looks like they are doing. That's good work from our cadet lightweights. 130 championship points available in this race. As we get to a key point of the season, this mid part of the year. Here at Lydd this weekend, trips to PF International and Clay Pigeon coming up soon as well before the season wraps out around Rye House and Bookmore Park. Down the inside, that was Miles Harrison going for a move.
Yeah, saw the opportunity on Hayden Adams. Adams just got a little bit wide on corner exit. Got the wheels onto the runoff concrete. And fastest lap of the race as well for Miles Harrison at the end there. So that's why he was in the pound seats to make a pass. And that means that it's now Logan McAllister in 4th and Miles Harrison in 5th there. Trying to work their way onto the back of Elijah Hazelwood if they at all can. Here is Hazelwood. And there is again still Jamie Warner a lap down, isn't it? That's the factor that's confusing me here, because he's basically unlapping himself by making this pass.
Indeed.
Unless there's been some transponder issue, but I'm fairly confident we saw him have
Yeah.
an incident that put him down there.
No, I'd agree with that, and it was deep in the bark chippings of frustration for Warner, as the pace was definitely there to be holding up in the top 5 today. A couple of changes further down the order. Matteo Ehrenfeuchter has got up 2 spots past Jack Shelley and Joseph Baxter on that last lap. So Matteo up to 13th place now. Oh my, Jake Anders, this would be a very pleasant surprise. Results so far this season: 17th, 9th, 10th, 7th, 12th and 7th in the A-level races. So it's been an ever-presence at this level in the cadet lightweights, but has never been in this position before, leading over half a second clear of João Gabriel Castro. And the pace is pretty similar as well. Both of them in the 47.9s. There's a battle going on there between, was that Rapini and Southern, and more going on between Hazelwood and the lapped Jacob Warner.
I say it was, but there's also Hazelwood versus Warner. And the problem is, Andrew, that this battling with Warner is going to bring McAllister and Harrison right into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a great little battle as well between Rapini and Southern. So really nice stuff from those two. As we cut back, this is now Jamie Warner has McAllister in his wheel tracks. Again, he's though trying to unlap himself from Hazelwood. I don't know, it's frustrating, don't get me wrong, for Warner, but I wonder, Andrew, if I wonder if I mean, he's getting good at, you know, he's out there basically doing a practice session of sorts now, but I wonder if it would be the courteous thing to let these drivers battle at this point. And effectively, he has done that now, because through goes Miles Harrison.
Yeah.
He's not obliged to, I
No.
hasten to add. That is not me saying he's doing something wrong by the words of the rule. He's absolutely fine to do that. It's his prerogative to let drivers by. No blue flag rules or F1 style blue flag rules here in Club 100 karting.
Rapini and Southern still going at it over 6th spot, but I'm just curious now for the podium positions. What can Logan McAllister do about Elijah? Well, in fact, in some ways he doesn't need to, does he? Because Hazelwood has a penalty. So McAllister would already be hopping up for 3rd place in the final classification for this race. And I wonder, again, if the drivers are aware, will there be a bit of moving around and tactical play to try and maybe reel in Castro up ahead? The trouble is, João Gabriel Castro, good pace, personal best last time around, 47.776, not really being closed in by these two.
Costly lap last time around for Matteo Ehrenfeuchter. Dropped some 3 positions there, courtesy of Joseph Baxter, Oscar Stockley King and Reece Cranston. So you wonder if maybe Ehrenfeuchter maybe pushed offline, or I say pushed offline, forced offline somewhere by a move. And it's so easy when you lose your rhythm with the racing line in this style of racing. You're not just going to lose that one position, you're very likely to lose several, as pushing hard there is the 48 of Castro.
And this is for the lead of the race as well. Change for 3rd on the road. Also, McAllister has got past Hazelwood, so Logan McAllister has found a way through. Pace last time around, 47.7 for McAllister, 47.6 for Castro. Anders also setting a personal best, but a 47.8. This is tough now for Jake Anders. If it's going to be a first victory of the season, it's going to have to defend this one. And there is working there between McAllister and Hazelwood. That is absolutely the correct decision. They've got to work together to get further up the road, because there's a big gap to close, but there is time to do it, especially if Anders and Castro start fighting. They lost a bit of time last time around. 47.9 for Anders, 48.2 for Castro, 47.8 for McAllister, 47.7 for Hazelwood.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and Miles Harrison leading a good battle as well over 5th place. Blake Southern and Ryan Rapini part of that. Here is your battle for the lead then. Jake Anders feels the need to throw a defensive shape into paddock. Gabriel Castro can't make anything of it on the outside there, but all the while Anders is going defensive, and actually is that going to hold him up such that the door opens there for João Gabriel Castro? It didn't that time. But Andrew, is he going, I know this sounds, but is he going too defensive too early here?
I think he's all right, because the thing is, he's hitting his apexes really well, Jake Anders, particularly through the last couple of corners. But there is the charging duo behind, and Logan McAllister has just done a 47.485.
This is going to get interesting, I think, here. I'd expect to see the last lap board this next time around. So maybe the charge is going to be a little bit too late from McAllister and Hazelwood here. As Andrew said, still a penalty on Hazelwood. Anders keeps a tight line through the last corner to go defensive. Here we go then, on to the final lap. Who's getting this one in the Pre-A final? And Cyberzone, what a move from Castro, but he's round. He's rounded into the bark. And was there contact pod to pod there? I think there was.
There was.
So that one's going to be a review by the race stewards, one would have thought. But what it's done is it's also put Logan McAllister right in an opportunity here where he can take the win outright. Coming back up the circuit now, Anders is aware he has to go defensive. Round the outside, he's going to try McAllister, but the door is closed on him. It's all going to be about this back straight and into the final corner. Remember that Hazelwood, the third in this queue, has a penalty hanging over him. Jake Anders may get a penalty for what happened there with Gabriel Castro. He goes defensive through the final corner. Can McAllister tuck underneath? No, but Hazelwood can towards the line. And it's Anders and Hazelwood first and second on the road. Logan McAllister in third, but will it remain that way once all has been come out in the wash with penalties? Blake Southern is in fourth, gets by on Miles Harrison after quite a lengthy battle there for most of this race. Ryan Rapini in sixth, Ian Bagger in seventh, Hayden Adams in eighth, ninth for Solomon Adeniji. What a good drive there from the back of the grid there for Adeniji. Jack Harrison rounds out your top 10. Then it's Mason Turner, Reese Cranston, Alfie Lambert, also a good drive from the back of the grid, having been a promotee. Joseph Baxter in 14th. Oscar Stockley King in 15th. 16th for Jack Shelley. Matteo Ehrenfeuchter. Let's take you through the grid then for this final race for our lightweight cadets. Not the final race of the day, mind. Logan McAllister will be on pole for this one with Blake Southern alongside. Miles Harrison and Ryan Rapini are row number 2 with Elijah Hazelwood and Ian Bagger on row 3. Jake Anders and Hayden Adams are on row 4 with Solomon Adeniji and Jack Harrison rounding out the top 10. Mason Turner and Reese Cranston are next with Alfie Lambert and Joseph Baxter on row 7. Oscar Stockley King and Jack Shelley are row 8. Matteo Ehrenfeuchter and João Gabriel Castro make up row number 9. Then it's Jamie Warner and Harvey Dowler on row 10, with confirmed promotees from the B final being Christian Gonzalez Runda and Oliver P.
Of the year. Ready to go then. Big race of the day for our cadet lightweight category, the A final. 11 minutes here at Lydd. Away we go, and Logan McAllister takes us into the first couple of corners in the lead of the race. Good fight back there by Blake Southern to hold on to second place after he was under attack from Miles Harrison. Down into the second chicane they go then for the first time. It's all looking pretty good, Howard, through, once again, very good starts from our cadet lightweights here today.
Yeah, costly first few corners, though, I think, for Harrison, Andrew. He was out on the bark almost on that first chicane. And I think he's dropped down the order as we see the usual 2 abreast, 3 abreast on this first lap as they all jostle for position. And maybe he's not fared as badly as I thought, actually. I think he might still be in 4th. But he was definitely on the limit of being onto that bark at that first chicane. Rapini coming down the back straight. Or is it because it's side by side between Hazelwood and Rapini? And look out for Jake Anders, who's coming into this as well in the 53. Jake Anders gets alongside Ryan Rapini and gets through. So Anders in the blue helmet and black suit towards the back of this pack. Well, he's not staying towards the back of this pack. He's moved forward past that 56 of Ryan Rapini. So it's now Logan McAllister out front. And then we've got this pack of Blake Southern, Miles Harrison, Elijah Hazelwood, Jake Anders and Ryan Rapini down to 6th place.
We saw Anders take pole position earlier on at the start of the day and led the first race, led the Pre-A final for a long, long time. He's now showing that he can put the moves in as well. A couple of changes further down the order. Jamie Warner has got past Joseph Baxter, but once again, look at this scrap for second place as here comes Hazelwood down the inside. Beautifully done by Elijah Hazelwood through as well comes Anders, takes another spot as well. So that shuffles Harrison down to 5th place. Joseph Baxter has now got a penalty, it would seem. What a move there, really brave from Elijah Hazelwood. Looked down the inside and was rewarded with 3rd place.
Yeah, and Jake Anders doing well as well to get by on Harrison, who was basically hung out to dry on the exit of that last corner.
Yep.
As through the horseshoe, look at this, nose to tail stuff. This is why we love cadets, and this is why we love racing. Lydd onto the back straight. Is anyone going to be on the normal racing line? They're all over to driver's right as Blake Southern absorbs this pressure. He's going to go out wide, though, and that's going to allow Hazelwood to buy in. I don't think there was a touch on the rear bumper there, Andrew. I think that was genuinely pushing the limits from how I saw it. Jake Anders now has nowhere to go as he gets spulked on the exit, and that's going to allow Miles Harrison to get back through into 4th place. There's now Blake Southern in 2nd, Elijah Hazelwood in 3rd, Miles Harrison past Jake Anders, so the 22 ahead of the 53, and now that 56 of Ryan Rapini, still with the penalty hanging over him, sees an opportunity to barry back into this, but he's going to have to go round the outside of the first part of the horseshoe, and that's not going to work for him. Once again, all over to driver's right. I promise the next corner is a right-hander, and it's normal to be on the left, but none of them want to give an inch of clearance on the inside because the risk is something like that, where Hazelwood will try and chuck underneath, and that contact holds them both up and allows Miles Harrison to strike, but they get him back again into the first chicane. As Logan McAllister stretches his legs at the front of the field, there's yellows out at the 2nd chicane. But what a battle this is over 2nd place.
That was actually very well dealt with by Hazelwood. He could sense that he didn't want to overtake because that would have been an ABC, but he was able to just hold his position ahead. Well, for then, he was able to hold his position ahead of Miles Harrison because Miles Harrison is now having a go. Hazelwood gets back ahead, holds on to 3rd place. Jake Anders still there in 5th place. Ryan Rapini watching from 6th place as well. There's been a penalty out there for Alfie Lambert, so he will fall down from currently 9th place in the order. As down the inside looks Hazelwood again and has the inside line on Salad through. Goes Hazelwood into 2nd place. What a race this has been so far, and there's still 2 minutes of it to go.
Penalty has been issued to Alfie Lambert as Jamie Warner sets the fastest lap of the race. Bearing in mind, Jamie Warner, of course, had that incident in the pre-A final, so he's working his way back up into this to get what points he can. Again, well read there by Hazelwood, Andrew, because they both went wide there in that corner, and you could just sense that Miles Harrison was going to come and try and come through on the inside.
Yeah.
But Elijah Hazelwood positioned his car brilliantly on the 2nd apex there, just to deter that sort of a move. Here we go once again then. This time it's Elijah Hazelwood in the 55 in 2nd place. Miles Harrison in his slipstream. Blake Southern still there, trying to get back to where he was a couple of laps ago. You'll probably notice, folks, that this is allowing all sorts of people to come up onto the back of this. Matteo Ehrenfeuchter now coming up onto the back of Ryan Rapini, and Hayden Adams is coming along to the party as well. So this is becoming an extremely entertaining train of karts.
It is indeed. Hazelwood has been on the podium twice so far this season. Same for Harrison. Southern, as mentioned, has had a race win this year as well. Jake Anders, though, he hasn't had any of that. Sat there in 5th place, which would be a best result of the year so far for the driver there in the number 53. But, oh, so close to a podium.
Oh.
As I think we'll see the last lap board this time around, as Harrison, I thought, was going to be up the inside of Hazelwood there, and then just seemed to stop in terms of the momentum. So round onto the last lap they go then. McAllister leads by 9 seconds and could pretty much stroll home to a 7th A-final victory of the year so far and extend his championship lead. But who is going to be else on the podium here today? For the first time in quite a while, you'd say that Hazelwood has got a kart length or two advantage, or did, because down the inside here comes Miles Harrison once again. Southern trying to fight in there as well. I think Ehrenfeuchter has also come into all of this, and it's all started to break down a little bit in the middle there as Southern shuffle down. Past goes Anders round the final corner. Logan McAllister is going to take race victory number 7 of his campaign. Hazelwood's going to be 2nd, but who's going to be 3rd? It could be any of them. It's going to be Blake Southern who takes the final spot on the podium. What a remarkable finish there in the cadet lightweight A final. What was that? Third down to eighth was covered by just the mere 3.5 tenths of a second. But there we go. Logan McAllister takes race victory and is very much on course for taking the title this year in cadet lightweights. He just keeps winning, even